Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for coming back. For those who are already subscribed and who are not new to this channel, to those who are new to the channel, thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope that you will grab one or two things from today's video. First and foremost, I need to put a disclaimer to say I don't consider myself a guru in the field of social work, but I do share on this channel bits and pieces from my own learning, self-directed learning, and from my own experiences as well. So if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, hit that notification bell so that when I post, you'll be the first person to know. And without wasting much time, in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about Ubuntu, and which is an African philosophy, African concept really, and how it has contributed to the social work profession, mainly, in Africa. So first and foremost, in terms of how I'm going to be tackling this topic today, is I'm going to look into, or I'm going to talk a little bit about what Ubuntu is, and also give you 4 points of how I think it has contributed immensely to the field of social work. So Ubuntu basically translates to humanness or personhood, really. Ubuntu, in some countries, Ubuntu, it means, or in some countries they actually call it Umuntu, something like that. So it's basically a philosophy and an operating system which is developed in Africa, mainly Southern Africa, which has contributed significantly, in the field of social work so far. It's a concept that emphasizes the connectedness and the idea that individuals do thrive in the community where they can support and care for one another, and it also aligns closely to the principles of social work. So basically, when we talk about Ubuntu, we are saying you are because we are, or I am because we are. I am because of the other people surrounding me. So if you already think about that concept and link it to some of the concepts that we use in social work, for example, if you look at family group conferencing, it's rooted in the same philosophy or in the same concept of Ubuntu, if you look at it closely, really. So like I said earlier on, Ubuntu is an African concept referring to humanness or personhood. It gives the expression, which is deeply held, in terms of our African ideals, where we are saying one's personhood is rooted in how interconnected we are with our community, with our extended family, and our, support network, so to speak. Um, you know, um, it's a concept which was developed from the African framework, where people were trying to decolonize social work practice, and actually try to set it so that it can be rooted in the African ideals, on how people can actually practice social work with individuals, social work with communities, social work with groups, in Africa. Um, you know, um, in terms of the use of the term, it has been mainly restricted to being used to referring to the mutual aid between human population, where people are helping each other in the spirit of solidarity. Basically that's what it is all about, if you look at it. I think it traces its roots and origins from uh, basically Black Africans from West, Central, East, and Southern, even North Africa. The concept is, prevalent in all those parts, really. And you'll find that the term Ubuntu has got different, not necessarily different, it's got the same meaning, but there are different words which are used depending whether you are in Southern Africa, or you're in West Africa, you're in Central Africa, you're in East Africa, or North Africa. But basically, what Ubuntu means is basically the same concept which people will be talking about there. So just to point out as well, which is quite important, is to mention the fact that Ubuntu was also chosen as one of the themes of the global agenda, or for social work and social development, which is going to be running for the next 10 years, between the years 2020 up to the year 2030. So the agenda theme is basically Ubuntu, strengthening social solidarity and global connectedness. So this agenda was set up by three, organizations really. The first one was the International Federation of Social Workers. I think for social workers, you know what it is already. It's abbreviated IFSW really. And the second one was the International Association of Schools of Social Work. So you will find that most of the schools of social work in Southern Africa, mostly, I'm talking about Southern Africa because I'm from Southern Africa originally. So they are already incorporating the concept of Ubuntu in the curriculum where they are teaching, social work students. And then it was also endorsed by the International Council on Social Welfare, which is, ICSW, so to speak. So it's gonna be running. It's gonna be running theme in terms of the agenda for social work and social development from 2020, sorry, to 2030. Right, so I'm going to touch now on the 4 points of how I think the concept of Ubuntu has actually contributed to the social work profession, mainly where it is being, espoused mainly in Africa, really. First and foremost, if you look at these 4 points I'm going to give now, you will see how interconnected they are to our profession and how we do things as social workers. So the first one is community-based approaches. It emphasizes the need for community-based approaches, really. It promotes community-based approaches to problem solving, to decision making, as well as to development, really. A community-based approach to development is more sustainable than a top-down approach. I'm sure you all agree with me on that, which is obviously one of the most fundamental, practices of social work, which is advocated, in social work as well. So as you know, so as social workers, we do, work within communities to address, what we would call systemic issues within those communities. And our approach is to empower individuals within those communities, to empower the groups within those communities, or to empower the whole community, so to speak. So Ubuntu emphasizes the concept or the approach of, a community-based approach to development, community-based approach to problem solving, community-based approach to decision making, and everything else that you can think of, really. That's, contribution number one to our profession. Contribution number two is Ubuntu emphasizes on empowerment and collaboration. Empowerment and collaboration. When you are dealing with problems, when you are solving problems, you don't solve problems for the clients, but you solve problems with the clients. So it emphasizes empowering the clients to deal with their own problems or to deal with their own matters, so that you come up with a sustainable, outcome, really. If you empower them to deal with the matters, they will be able to clash onto it and deal with the issues even after you have pulled back. So Ubuntu, it emphasizes empowerment and collaboration. Collaboration meaning that you don't solve problems on your own. You need other individuals in the community. You need other groups in the community. You need solidarity to make sure that you deal with some of the issues that you can actually deal with at community level. As professionals as well, remember, we need to collaborate with other partner agencies for us to deal with some of the matters that we'll be dealing with, at individual level, or, family level, or at, community level as well. So at the end of the day, Ubuntu encourages empowerment and collaboration among individuals, promoting a sense of agency and collective. Among social workers, we strive to empower our clients to overcome challenges and work collaboratively with them to achieve, their goals. So that's one other concept, of Ubuntu, how it contributes to the profession, really. Third point is around cultural sensitivity. Ubuntu emphasizes the importance of understanding and respecting diverse perspective from the clients that we deal with. So that's really, really important. So as you know, in social work practice, cultural sensitivity is one of the essential, skills which is expected of a social worker as well. It helps you to effectively engage with your clients from diverse backgrounds, and ensuring that you are able to advocate for social justice and for their needs, in a holistic manner. So Ubuntu also emphasizes the issue of cultural sensitivity. The last one is that Ubuntu also emphasizes the concept of restorative justice. Restorative justice, we know that it's mostly widely used in Southern Africa. I'm talking about Southern Africa because I've practiced extensively in Southern Africa. So you'll find that Ubuntu also emphasizes the issue of or the concept of reconciliation and restoring relationships. So it emphasizes the concept of restorative justice, right? And ensuring that it emphasizes the concept of reconciliation and restoring relationships, realigning restorative justice principles, which will focus on repairing the harm that one would have done in the community, or one the harm that that would have happened to that particular person or a service user, really. It also emphasizes the need to address underlying causes of conflicts to make sure that these don't crop up again. So it's important that as social workers we need to be utilizing some of these concepts which are espoused within the Ubuntu concept, really ensuring that restorative justice practices are adhered to promote healing, to promote reconciliation, and ensuring that communities affected by violence or trauma can actually lean onto these concepts and actually go forward, really. So in essence, Ubuntu just emphasizes on the interconnectedness of the individual, emphasizes on empowerment, emphasizes on cultural sensitivity, which resonates with the values and goals of our profession as social workers, within this field of social work. So with those few words, I hope you have managed to grab, a few things, and I hope you will actually, I hope you have actually learned a few things, or I've introduced a concept which you have possibly never heard of, but you can actually go and read about it. The people that I know, we have written extensively on the concept of Ubuntu. We have got Professor Roderick Mpedziswa. You can go and research. We have got Dr. Jacob Mgumbate has also written extensively on the concept of Ubuntu. We have got Dr. Cheren, who has also written extensively on the concept of Ubuntu. We've got Dr. Mutetwa, who has also written extensively on the concept of Ubuntu. So you can always go and research. If you've got an account on ResearchGate, you can always go and research and actually see what it is that they wrote about concerning the concept of Ubuntu. So with those few words, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, hit that notification bell so that when I post, you'll be the first person to know. Thank you so much.